Okay, so this is going to be a quick installation and review for these LED Grille Bezel light bars from Billfaro. So I have a 2025 Stingray Z51 and I am going to be installing these on here. So inside the box, this is just one half as I started working on the other half, but this is what you get inside. Everything is really well packaged. And you have here, this is the piece that goes against the end. It's a perfect match for the carbon flash metallic, so their carbon flash is excellent. Very much looks factory. You get zip ties. You get two of these wiring harnesses that have a female and male adapter here. So that's going to be going into the headlight. So into the wiring harness going into the headlight, back into the headlight, and then this end going into the light. And then the actual light itself, so you can get a better look at it. Right here, I'm going to peel the plastic back, has like a smoked lens on it, which is really nice. And then you can see the LEDs tucked back there. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is remove the front splitter. So you can see the holes all through here. They're really accessible. Now this whole job is easier if you have a set of ramps, so I have my car up on ramps here. Of course you could jack the car up as well. You might be able to get away with doing this just on the ground, but I definitely wouldn't recommend it. So all of these are T15 Torx. Most of the bolts that we're going to be pulling out are T15 Torx. So we have to remove this lower plastic or rubber guard next. So there's a whole lot of T15s between us and that. And in addition to that, there is one bolt you can feel if you put your finger straight up here. That is a 7mm. So for this part, you'll need the T15 and 7mm. So I have this 7mm here, an adapter for my impact, and I have my impact driver right here with a T15 on it, and I'm going to start just pulling these off. Okay, I went ahead and got all those bolts out, so now this piece is just going to pop right out. There we go. So now we are going to have access up there. Okay, now that we have that piece out of the way, we are going to have to get this existing piece off. So I actually have the Billfaro radiator grill guards, which are excellent. However, they definitely make this install tougher. So full disclosure, I am going to do this without taking this bumper off because that's my preference. But to do that, it's going to make things more difficult to get the radiator grill guard back on. So you might want to pull the bumper if you have radiator grill guards installed or you plan on installing them at the same time as the bezel lights. If you don't, then you can definitely get this done. But what we need to do next is there are several bolts here. 1, 2, 3. These are all 7mm. So we have to get those undone so that we can get this piece off. So that is what I'm going to do next. Okay, so I went ahead and got those bolts undone. Now we have to get this piece off. So it looks a little daunting, but it's actually pretty straightforward. So there is a little tab that you can see right there. It's a little difficult actually to see. All right, but we're going to have to pop it out of that tab, and then we're just going to pull this piece straight out. So even though we're replacing it, it's best not to damage the parts, you know, in case you ever want to put this back on. So we're going to be careful to pull it off all in one piece. So what I like to do is to just push a little bit up with my thumb here, you see, and then this piece will come right off. You can see the tab that was in there. And then from the top, you can just start to pull a little bit. And it's a little tough to do with one hand. I'm just gonna pull straight out, just like that. All right, you can see all the tabs are still intact. All right, so now we have more access. Now mine's only blocked because of my radiator grill guard, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that removed. If you don't have it, you don't have to worry about that step. Okay, so now we are going to be ready to test fit the light, and also we have to get this wiring harness back towards the wheel well. So on the very side, you can see there is like this rubber material here that goes around the frame of the radiator. So we're gonna push right past that. It's a little bit difficult to do with one hand, so I'm gonna have to cut the video in a second. But first, what you wanna do is take your light, and then you are gonna take this tail end and you're gonna feed it through right here, just like that. You can grab it and pull it down. So I found that the best thing to do is to feed this through the very bottom where it has a little bit of play, and then when we go to hook up the actual wiring harness to the lights, let's see if we can get that in there. Oh, there we go. Actually, I managed to get it in there just like that. When we go to hook up the wiring harness to the lights, we can actually grab it from the other side. So now we can just feed this in a little bit more, just like this. And then you'll see we gotta align these holes with the bolts. Grab it. There we go. And over here, start pulling this more. Kind of tuck that out of the way, just like that. And now we'll push these in. Incredible fitment right there. So now that we have this in there, I'm actually going to pull this off, and it is time to install our trim piece on the side here. And I really like what they did with it. They gave it a little bit more style, almost like little mini canards on there, and some more airflow as well. So this has to be out of the way for us to put that in properly. So I'm going to go ahead and just drop the light down for a second. Okay, so I just have the light kind of resting on the foam here, and what you want to do is you want to go ahead and just line this up, starting at the bottom, get it in the right spot. There we go. And I find the best thing to do is actually just give it a little whack in, just carefully. Just like that. I'm pretty sure this fitment is better than factory. Like, the gap here is non-existent. It's excellent. Alright, so now that that's in place, we want to go ahead, we want to grab our light, and we want to start to push it back into that spot. There we go. Perfect. That is excellent fitment. That looks great. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3 bolts that are going to be going in. So, or rather, there's studs here. There's going to be 3 nuts that are going to pull this tight over here. So I'm going to start working on those now. Let's see, those came included in the kit. And they look like this. So what I recommend is a small 10mm wrench so that you can just try and get up there. I'm gonna have to snake my hand up here and then slowly get these on. Okay, I've got everything put back together again. This is what it looks like now. Like I said, a little bit tough getting your hands up there, but it is possible. So after that, I went ahead and put my splitter and all of the components underneath back on, and I have the car jacked up because we are going to be taking this wheel right here off. Okay, I've got the wheel off now. So now this inside fender liner, this plastic cover, has to come out. So you'll have to take off your splash guards first, which will be a 7mm bolt, and then otherwise they just pull right off. And then there are a whole lot of T15 bolts in here. So all these have to come out. Once they have, this will drop right out. Okay, now with everything off, this is what it looks like in here. And most importantly, we're going to focus over here. There is our wiring harness that we snaked through before. Get the light on this. Alright, so you can see now we can just pull this upwards. And then that way we'll have it join the factory harness up here. And then right here you can see that is the factory headlight harness. There we go. So that red tab has to come back. It's this right here. If I get this. These can be a little tough sometimes. You'll hear it click when it comes out. Alright, I'm going to grab a screwdriver and pull it back with that. Okay, so I have this pulled off now. And now what we're going to do is we are going to take the T adapter from Billfaro. We are going to plug the male end into the factory harness right here. There we go. Put the locking clip in place, and we are going to connect these two right here. Do this one hand. There we go. That down. And then I'm actually just going to tuck this away as best I can right up here. Let me see if I can get this up there. Alright, I'm going to have to do a little better than that. Okay. I actually just left it like that, and then it's going to sit on the fender well. Yeah, I think maybe I may even zip tie it. I might zip tie it up just so it sits like that. Yeah, I'm gonna zip tie it. And then here is our T connector. I have our harness from the front right here. I'm gonna go ahead and use this hole on the bumper to add a zip tie and secure this in place right there. Okay, so I have everything zip tied now and tucked out of the way, and I'm gonna go ahead and test these out and then get everything put back together. And here it is, guys. You can see it working perfectly.